A highly anticipated petition we lodged to Parliament. So I wanted to give you an update. We have two matters of public importance, but it's important that we update you and the country. As you are aware, on the 6th of August this year, on the 5th of August this year, just on Monday, we successfully delivered our petition to the Speaker, but through the clerk to Parliament, with the requisite minimum number of signatures, together with the attached evidence and the motion itself. And this motion calling for the censure of the 4 commissioners of Parliament, Honorable Matthias Mpuga for taking the 500 million, Honorable Esther Foyichan for taking the 400 million, Honorable Solomon Sirwanyi for the 400 million, and Honorable Prosi Akampuria for the 400 million shillings. We compiled our petition and all the attachments. But we are glad that in the course of our moving this motion, we also came across other very pertinent issues that require being debated on the floor of Parliament. Particularly the profligacy, the wasteful expenditure, we can't let it go unchallenged. We also saw other cases of pilferage of the public coffers, stealing of money through fictitious trips. And we realized that was even the bigger problem why we took long soliciting for signatures. Once people were expecting earnings every month, can you imagine? They are traveling every month with not less than 21 days. So they substitute their salary and emoluments here in a clever way. Because if you are assured of monthly travel and in the pay ranging between 45 to 65, and in some obscene cases, 115 million in a month per travel. So all those issues, we were able to compile them and we captured them in our petition. Number 2, it is also important to note, dear countrymen, that it is not only Parliament that has manifested itself in the corrupt tendencies. But we want to start with Parliament. Parliament, in this case of our motion, is acting as a microcosmic analysis of the general health and standing of corruption in the country. So once Parliament is bedeviled with corruption, then you know the rest of the country is bad. The rest of the country is bad. So our effort is to complement that of the President, to fight corruption wherever it is, and the struggle begins with you wherever you are. So if you want to measure the temperatures of corruption in the country, you look at the parliamentary thermometer. You look at the thermometer and then you can gauge the heat and the temperature in the country. So this is why we are doing this, and we shall do it to the end. We assure Ugandans that we are ready to deliver on that promise. Most important, and number 2, we have evidence. When we delivered our petition, the clerk to Parliament promptly wrote confirming that our motion was transmitted successfully to the Speaker of Parliament. We are happy. that the evidence we have, the clerk parliament complied with our rules, because we thought he might do something there between. But we have evidence that our motion has successfully been transmitted and handed over to the Speaker within the 24 hours. The 24 hours, our motion and petition were handed over to the Speaker. So what now awaits, according to our rules? The 14 days started counting. Today is the 10th day. You remember from 5th? Now we have only 10 days remaining. And this one is not about the indulgence of the Speaker, or for the Speaker to use her discretionary powers. No. The rules command that the debate must ensue within, not meaning that, by the way, you can exhaust all the 10 or the 14. Should help us shorten the matter by having it even with, under the 14 days. So it's not a must that you must clock the 14. It can be done anywhere from the first day to the 14th day. So why I and my colleague Honorable Audria Alion, whom I'm welcome with a lot of warmth, we are wondering, we have not been issued with a notice as Parliament. The notice is intended to alert members of Parliament in the constituencies. Come back, there is a business about censure. So the Speaker shouldn't delay this process. Members, as they go for their weekend, we thought by now the Speaker would have issued a notice informing all members of Parliament that in accordance with Rule 110 of the Rules of Procedure, this is to notify members of Parliament that Parliament shall be sitting on this and this date to consider a petition for the removal of 4 commissioners of Parliament. So we are urging the Speaker, now that there is evidence that she received our petition, to comply with the rules. There is no shortcut about it. This is a command by the rules. We are waiting a notice being issued, so that members, as they go for their weekend, as they go for committees, as they arrange for the itinerary, they should prepare to come and have a debate. And the rules provide that the item, the censure motion, shall be the first item. We don't want to be added with any other thing. It shall be the first item, and we hope it will be the only item. Our hope, due to the fight against corruption in the country, it will be the first item. And indeed, that's how the rules command. It's not a wish. It is the rules commanding so. And lastly, from me on that point, I do call upon Ugandans. The fight against corruption is not limited to Parliament. We call upon members of Parliament to be ready. Once the notice is issued, prepare to come and have the debate. We shall lead our censure, and those that choose shall have the opportunity to respond, and members of Parliament will debate this motion. And we shall see, because the fight against corruption begins with you. Members of Parliament must stand up to be counted, because the fight against corruption begins with you. Members of the Fourth Estate, we thank you, the press. You followed this matter diligently. Members of the public, don't get tired. Remind your members of Parliament. Tell them that the motion is waiting only within 10 days. Remind them. They could be busy in the villages, in towns, in cities, on travels. Even those who have traveled or who intend to travel, please keep around, wait for the motion. Because this is a defining motion. Don't travel. We know you are being coerced and urged to travel. Don't travel. Be present, be around. Move closer to Entebbe and you come back. Reach up country, you come back. Because the thing is just 10 days, we've been waiting for long. So be ready to be present. Members of the public, follow. It will be an open debate. Follow, now that you have been praying and also urging members of parliament, follow how the fight against corruption is going to progress on the floor of parliament. And therefore urge your members, don't allow them in the villages, remind them to come and be present on the floor of parliament. And that's why we are calling on the speaker not to delay this process, to issue a notice so that a proper debate can ensue. I thank you.
Thank you, the press, for the support you've rendered to us in this struggle against corruption. Ugandans, you are all aware that was a big struggle for us to get the signatures. We submitted our motion. We are left with 10 days without notice from the Speaker's office. The Speaker's office is supposed to notify us so that we prepare for that debate. She is not doing it. They are planning to send members away for trips. And yet in this parliament we have members of parliament who have arrears of trips, money not being paid. You can imagine the members of parliament having arrears in trips over 200 million. Others having over 300 million arrears in the trips. And they are planning to send more away to avoid our debate. That's uncalled for. We have done our work. The struggle against corruption is on. We are calling upon you Ugandans, in the remaining 10 days, you must come to parliament. When the notice is given, come, go to the gallery. We want you to witness that debate. Nobody is going to run away from this. Watch your members of parliament. Let them not get scared. Let them come and debate. This fight cannot stop. You can imagine the welfare of parliament is still being played around by these members. These looters. Can you imagine they have gone to the welfare of members of parliament up to the canteen today? Today in this parliament, the service provider is being chased away. The man who has been serving a mere plate of food for members of parliament at 14,000 has been pushed out. Has been pushed out today by these looters. And they have brought another new service provider to serve a plate of food for more than 40,000. For more than 40,000, actually 45,000. Our staff of parliament, together with you, the media, used to be served food, a plate at 8,000 only. Now you're going to be paying 18,000 from a new service provider. What do these people want? What is their plan? What do they exactly want, these looters? We are not going to accept this new service provider here in this parliament. Or else the service provider will cook food for himself and eat for himself. Unacceptable. How long are they going to continue with this? They are not even scared that they are about to be impeached. And they go ahead, adding more crime.
Oh, yes.
Watch the space, Ugandans. It is getting too much. It is now not corruption. They are just looting. They are just looting the country. They are looting the parliament. It's unacceptable. Very unacceptable. So, Ugandans, join us in this struggle. The struggle is on. 10 days left. When the 10 days collapse, there are two things. We shall demand for the president to dissolve this parliament. 10 days elapse if the Speaker does not put our motion on the order paper. This Parliament must be dissolved by the President, and we shall do everything possible to see that it happens. I thank you.
Ntinga bwe mumanyi ng'ennaku z'omwezi 5 twasobola okuweereza Speaker wa Parliament motion ng'ewerekeddwako emikono ng'ewerekeddwako n'obujulizi, naye twagiweereza ewa Clerk to Parliament. Clerk wa Parliament tulina essanyu okutegeeza bannansi nti ogugwe yagukola. Clerk omulimu gwe yagukoze, kubanga mu ssaawa 24 yabadde amaze okutuusa motion yaffe eri Speaker. Kati ekiba kiddirira, Speaker talina kyakwekwasa kirala kyonna, alina okulaba nga mu nnaku 14 motion agiteeka ku order paper tugiteeseeko. Kati wetwogerera ebula ennaku 10, naye tuwulidde okunyolwa nti ennaku 10 ezibuzeeyo Speaker tannafuna budde kufulumya ekirangiriro ekitegeeza Parliament mu butongole nti ng'olunaku z'omwezi bwe ziti Parliament egenda kutuula eteese ku motion y'okujja obwesige mu bakamisona baffe, Honorable Mathias Mpuuga, Honorable Afoyo Chan Esther, Honorable Prosa Kampulira ne Honorable Solomon Sirwanyi. Mu kiseera kino Speaker yandibadde afulumya notice kubanga ababaka balindirire kumpimpi baleme kulaga wala. Abagenda Entebbe mukome wali ekajjansi mukomewo. Abagenda e Masaka mukome luka yaawo wajja kumala mukomewo. Bannayuganda bammemba ba Parliament babeere kumpi. Tumazeeko weekend yino Speaker asirise tatubuulidde Parliament etuula ddi. Ate teyeetaaga ebeere ya kibwatukiro omulundi gumu. Yeetaaga ababaka ba Parliament bategeezebwe, beetegeke, baleete obujulizi, baleete byonna bye baagala okuteesaako. Kino ekintu tulagala kukiraba nga kigenze mu maaso. Olwaleero Lwakutaano ennaku ziyise 4 esigadde 10 zokka. Tetwagala kusikira muguwa mu nsonga eno. Tumusaba tutegeeze mangu ddi Parliament lw'eneetuula. Ereme kuba ya surprise. Tutegeddeko n'ekirala ababaka bagenda kubawa obugendo bu trips obwo bwe baba bategekedde muveewo temuvaawo. Ababaka baleme kudda bweru wa ggwanga. Bwe mubanga mugenze mukomewo kubanga eggwanga lyonna lyategeera nti notice weeri. Guno gwe mulimu omukulu ogw'okulwanyisa obukenuzi mu Parliament ne Uganda yonna. Tekiyina koma ku Parliament yokka. Uganda ekaaba olw'obukenuzi. Temutambula, temugeza ne mutambula. Abageze ddala salama mukomeewo. Wane Nairobi mulimba ne ku ssaawa 12 olinnya ennyonyi n'okomawo. Ate temulimba yuna tennaba kutandika, twategedde nti mugenda kulindirira yuna, wulira nti bagende batuule eri okutuusa yuna lwe nabasangayo. Temutuulayo mukomeewo kubanga omulimu guli wano gw'okukola. Tusaba ababaka ba Parliament musigaleewo. Bonna ababaka ba Parliament bajje. N'ekisembayo tusiima mmwe ababaka ba Parliament abatutte ensonga eno nga ensonga enkulu. Tusiima bammemba ba Fourth Estate kubanga ensonga eno mwe bannamawulire mugikuumidde ku mwanjo waggulu. Tusiima bannayuganda. Okulwanyisa obukenuzi si kyangu. Bannayuganda n'olwekyo nga bwe twakola luli nga tutambuza ensonga yaffe, tubasaba ne ku luno mugende mu maaso. Mujjukize ababaka, mukubirize ababaka, musaba ababaka babeerewo bakubaganye ensonga enkulu eno kubanga amalwaliro gaffe temuli mu malagala. Ebyenjigiriza byetaaga essente, enguudo zeetaaga okukola. N'olwekyo kuno okutandikira ku Parliament kino kikyali kituuza kubanga Parliament erina okutandikirwako ng'erwanyisa obukenuzi. Naye ng'obukenuzi buli mu Uganda yonna. Tulina obulwanyisa nga tusinziira wamu. Nsembeyo ebintu bibiri. Njagala Speaker tusaba ffe nga ba Petition ffenna. Tusaba Speaker atuwe notice nga tetunava mu mbeera. Afulumye notice kino si kyakusaaga. Atali biza akola ki? Afulumye notice ababaka bebe nga bamanyi. Nange sijja kulonza nga bwe Balioni bwagamba. Naye Speaker afulumye notice kubanga tujja kuba tetuyina kirala kye tusigaziza kukola. Parliament etambula etya ng'egaanye okudibetinga obukenuzi. Wakiri ffenna batugobe mutufulume ebweru okusinga lwefuuka empuku y'ababbi wano.
Yes.
Ekirala kyentegedde omubaka nammwe kyemutegedde nti ababadde bakolera emirimu gyabwe wono baabuwe abadde baddukanya kantini n'ebirala bafuumuddwa olwaleero. Kakati ate ekizibu nti nno essuwani y'emmere ebadde ku gumu nnya kakati egenda kufuuka ya 45 emitwalo 4 n'ekitundu. Ne ba staff n'abantu bafu ababadde bafuna bannamawulire ababadde bagamba nti katugirireko ku kindaazi tumuguunyeko ku kindaazi akasuwani nga kasiringi 8 kati okutandika ne leero egenda kubeera ya 1 na kitundu 1 mu 8. Kakati awo lwaki embeera ey'obukekereza mu ggwanga eri mu ggwanga mwesibe omusipi munywere ate wano okugalabanja ssente kwe kususse waggulu? Ani bakomisiona bano contract bagiwadde ani? Balya taamu egenda kamukuulo. Tetujja kukkiriza bukenuzi obwo. Abantu babeere mu mbeera ey'obuntu bulamu. Eggwanga liri mu buzibu bya byanfuna ate bo bongera kulaga na kuyiwa ssente n'okuleega. Tetujja kikkiriza. Tusaba embeera eno ebaleme kukozesa kantini ya Parliament ng'ekkuba ery'okwekkusizamu bokka ate n'okunyaga. Mwebale nnyo.
By the way, let me also tell you something.